legacy continues. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the 46th Daytona 500. Stewart.
25-year-old Kurt Busch.
You are the man.
A dominating performance by Gordon.
Tony Stewart.
Greg Biffle.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in victory lane at Bristol.
Elliott Sadler wins at California. Jeremy Mayfield in to the chase for the Nextel Cup.
This may never stop.
That's right, my house. 2 weeks in a row, and loving memory all the way. I love winning. Woo!
It'll be Jimmy Johnson.
Those are the guys in the cars. Now, what about the guys that work on the cars? Pit crews are like a respected chef. You expect the meal to be perfect, but if one ingredient is left out, it can leave a really bad taste in your mouth. Well, last week at Darlington, the pit crew for Kurt Busch served up 2 blue ribbon winners that kept the heat on the competition.
Great stop, 13.5. They gained some spots on pit road too.
A fantastic stop by Kurt Busch's crew.
We knew about 80, 100 laps in the race that we were going to have to do something also in the pits a little bit more than we do to help get some spots, get the points we need.
You got Jimmy Finning up on the box. You know, he's up there with his hands going, come on, guys, we need you. You got Kurt on the radio, you know, saying, come on, guys, help us out.
Your mind frame gets in, you know, not the pressure's on you, but you know what you're getting paid to do is what counts on this day.
Part of what made the 97 pit stop so fast, they tried something they had never done before. Because they didn't need 2 full cans of gas, the gas man helped the tire changers.
We got to do our pit stop that we tried to talk Jimmy into letting us do, and he finally had some trust in us and let us do it, and thank goodness it all worked out.
He was thrilled, we were all thrilled, and it's one of those high-five moments, you know, where just everybody just, you just live in that moment.
But once the race ended, that moment was over. Back to practice Tuesday evening, preparing for the biggest race of the season.
I almost think what it is he's deeper than what he should be, and it's almost Jason behind, and it's taking it away from him because he's late. I know something's goofy when you go 1, 2, 3, and then you stop, and you go 4, 5. All right, guys, here we go. Let's bring it up just a little bit, man. Just don't rush it, don't race each other. Let's just have a good one. Here we go.
You just try to think about what you got to do and concentrate on that, and try not to think about the pressure. Obviously, you want to win this championship, and you know, you hope you don't make any mistakes so you're not the weak link.
I think our guys are ready. If it does come down to the last stop, I mean, you know, our guys have proven this year that they can pull it off, and they're good in crunch time. So hopefully, if that's the situation, we'll be ready for it.
The code word for that trick play on pit road is Triple Lundy, and it's in play today. It took Jimmy Finning a while to buy into it, but after the success at Darlington last week, he certainly buys into it now. The team aspect of NASCAR racing, nowhere shown more than here on pit road, and no team feels better about themselves than the 97 team does right now. And one advantage they have, they qualified first, which means they have the first pit stall selection, meaning they took the one at the end of pit road, only 20 feet between the end of their stall and the line at the end of pit road, and no one blending in front of them going to their stall because they have an opening right in front of them. Big key for the 97 team today, pit stops on pit road. Matt?
Marty, the best example of how this 48 team responds to adversity took place last week at Darlington during a pit stop. A lug hung between the wheel and the hub. Showing poise under pressure, Ryan McRae and Corey Quick didn't panic. Instead, they went through their motions, changing that tire. In the meantime, Shane Parsnow ran around to the left front, taking those lugs off to save the team valuable time. They only lost 9 spots on pit road, but the loss could have been a lot more, like the race and those valuable championship points that go along with it. This team is loose and ready for whatever obstacles come their way today. Dave?
Matt, last week the only miscue for the 24 team on pit road came late in the race and drew criticism from driver Jeff Gordon. Rear tire changers typically carry their hose in their pinky like this, dropping it when they go to change the right rear tire. This week, rear tire changer Mike Atwell will make sure that this loop has no excess that every once in a freak while gets caught under a rear tire just like this. Bill?
Wow. Thanks, guys. Good stuff out there. So you can see on pit road, it's the job of the crew to keep that championship dream afloat. Now, South Florida is obviously a popular vacation destination. It's a casual and comfortable drive down to the Keys. There you'll find boats, beaches, bars, and ballads. The 5 championship contenders are hoping for smooth sailing today, but that may not be the case because, as Wally Dallenbach explains, even on this beautiful day in Homestead, there are white caps on the ocean, and we're watching for water spouts.
Homestead weekend, fun in the sun. We're speeding across water right next to Key West Beach. We're having a good time. Last year, Matt Kenseth came into this race, had the championship clinched. Those guys were having a good time. The pressure was off. They were relaxed. All they needed to do was come out and go racing and have some fun. But that's not going to be the case for about 5 guys this weekend. A little bit different story.
Because for those 5 guys, Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Mark Martin, it's going to be a little bit different here at Homestead if they're going to win the championship, because they've got to race their guts out. To win the Cup this weekend, there are a couple of things the driver is going to have to do and avoid. Now, one of those things is you've got to be at the right place at the right time. Last year on lap 3, coming off of turn 2, Kevin Harvick got loose. He slid up into Ryan Newman. Kurt Busch was on the outside, and he was in a wreck. Mark Martin, he better hope his luck is a little bit better, because you're going to need some luck this weekend. Last year, he got loose and crashed. You're not going to win the championship this weekend if you wind up crashing. Also, if you want to be lucky, I think you got to make your own luck. How do you do that? Well, there's 2 ways. One is you want to be out front. If you're out front, the wreck happens behind you. You're lucky. Jeff Gordon, he was in front of the wreck last year. But Jimmy Johnson, his teammate, he was behind the wreck. But he got lucky and drove right through it. So to win the Cup, you'll need to race out front, avoid being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and probably be a little lucky.
Thanks, Wally. Driver introductions continuing. Here's 4-time series champion Jeff Gordon being introduced. 65,000 fans here at Homestead this afternoon for the Ford 400, the race that will determine the next Tel Cup champion. Next, you'll go back out to the starting grid and talk to a guy who won at Kansas and could win here. Florida's very own. He's no ordinary Joe. You're watching the Discover Card Countdown to Green on NBC. You heard from Kurt Busch as he was getting ready to be introduced to the crowd. Well, here he is just a few moments ago, and as you might expect when you're racing against 42 other guys, a mix of cheers and boos for the championship leader. He starts on the pole here this afternoon.
Welcome, Mr. President.
I am really glad to be here.
So dig into the green-white checkered. 5 rhythmic hits.
How'd I do for the first time?
Good. You're great.
Everybody's still standing. He is a city guy.
Obviously, you got to have a tractor. I'm now Farmer Bush.
I'm going to scream. I have to scream.
Never done one of these before.
Oh, my God. Oh, she hit the wall.
God, I love my job.
Now, I think this is the best seat in your house to get the proper race set up, and it's a blast being down here in the middle of everything every week. We hope you've certainly enjoyed it. And a big thanks to our friends at Discover Card for making it all possible. We look forward to working with them again in 2005, where we will continue to find new things to report to you because, as always, it pays to discover. Back out to the grid to Marty.
Bill, Joe Nemechek discovered victory lane earlier this year in this race car. Can it win again here at Homestead, Joe?
I definitely think so. We kind of messed up qualifying there a little bit. I don't know where we lost all of our speed at, but in race trim, it's been extremely good. We came down here and tested with 2 different cars, and we brought a different one back. And The car's been driving really good. You know, it's all about having good balance here, and so far the Army guys have gave me a great car.
A little bit of work to get to the front. He starts 19th. Matt?
And looking at sunglasses, Jimmy McMurray and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, he's encouraged about his chances for today. What about you?
You know what? It's always encouraging when you can run well in the Busch race, and it's a very similar setup. And the adjustments that I wanted to make to my Busch car yesterday, we had already figured into this car. So just going to go and see what we can do. And we don't have anything to lose today. Just go out and try to win.
And he finished second in that Busch race on Saturday. Dave?
Last year here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, Brian Vickers ran for a Busch Series championship. Brian, have you had a chance to reflect on that at all this weekend with your Nextel Cup race and everything?
Yeah, I really have. You know, it was this place where it all started when Ricky hired me to drive the car, and we ended up winning the championship here. It's so neat to be back. I wish you could be here. You know, I want to thank everybody for the support. GMAC still being on board Chevy. It's awesome. I look forward to a good race today.
Brian's number 25 starts outside row 7. Bill?
Thanks, Dave. 2002 was the first year Homestead was the last race on the schedule. In 2002, Kurt Busch came here with 3 wins. This year he comes here with 3 wins. In 2002, he had 20 top 10 finishes. This year, Kurt has 20 top 10 finishes. In 2002, Kurt's first win came at Bristol in March. This season, Kurt's first win came at Bristol in March. This season, Kurt won the pole just once here at Homestead. In 2002, Kurt won the pole just once here at Homestead. Who went to victory lane that day in 2002 at Homestead? From the pole, Kurt Busch. Now, you don't have to look it up because we already did. The countdown for 2004 is at 0, and the Ford 400 is coming up.
This has been the Discover Card Countdown to Green. Let's go racing.